Today, we're jumping into a really powerful novel, Behold the Dreamers by Mbolo Mbue. And this book, it's all about one big shiny idea, the American dream. But it really digs into what happens when that dream slams right into the tough realities of class, race, and, well, a massive financial meltdown. Right from the get-go, the book sets this incredible tone. It opens with a quote from Deuteronomy, a promise of a good land. And that really frames this whole story, not just as someone moving to a new country, but as this epic, almost biblical quest for a promised land. You know, a place where you'll have everything you need. This is the fuel for our main character's entire journey.
So at the center of this whole thing, we've got two very different families, both in New York City, and they're both chasing their own idea of success. First, you have the Zingas, who are immigrants from Cameroon. And then you have the Edwards, a super wealthy family right at the peak of the financial food chain.
And the contrast between them is just stark. On one hand, you've got the Jongas in a modest apartment in Harlem. They're dealing with all the tough stuff, asylum claims, trying to pay for community college. Then you flip the coin, and you have the Edwardses. They're in these posh Manhattan high-rises, thinking about summer homes in the Hamptons and executive bonuses. I mean, it's like they're living on two different planets, but both are circling the same sun, New York City.
So let's meet the Jongas, right? We have Jende and Nanny. They've packed up their entire lives from Limbe, Cameroon, and put all their bets on building a new future here with their little boy, Leomi. And for them, it's not really about getting rich quick. Their dream is more fundamental. It's about survival, it's about stability, and just, finding a little piece of America that they can call home.
And Nenny's dream is so specific, and it tells you so much about her. She doesn't just want any job. She wants to be a pharmacist. Why? Well, for her, it's this huge symbol of respect. It's about being able to help people, to literally hand out health and happiness in pill bottles. It's this solid, tangible, respectable path to achieving that dream.
Okay, now let's flip over to the other side of town and meet the Edwardses, Clark and Cindy. Clark is this big-shot executive at Lehman Brothers. They are living a life of just unbelievable privilege with their two sons. I mean, from the outside looking in, they haven't just achieved the American dream. They are the American dream, personified.
But it doesn't take long to see that this perfect picture is full of cracks. You get this one outburst from Cindy at Clark because he missed a piano recital, and right away you realize, all that money? It's not some magic shield against real, deep family problems. The pressure isn't just happening at Lehman. It's boiling over right inside their own home.
This is where things get really interesting. The whole story just catches fire when these two completely separate worlds smash into each other. It all starts in the fall of 2007 with one job opening, a job for Jende that is going to change absolutely everything.
And what's the job? He becomes the chauffeur for Clark Edwards himself. So suddenly, there's Jonda sitting in the driver's seat of this fancy Lexus, and he becomes the silent witness to this whole other world. He's hearing these hushed, stressed-out phone calls about Lehman Brothers' risky deals, and all the while, the entire global economy is starting to shake.
And the irony here is just incredible, right? Think about it. For Jesdi, looking out the front windshield, this job is his golden ticket. It's the path forward. But for Clark, sitting just a few feet away in the back seat, that same car ride is filled with dread because he's watching his entire world start to come apart at the seams. So you have all this tension bubbling under the surface, and then, bam! An outside force just shatters everything for everyone. We're talking about the 2008 financial crisis. And in this story, it's not just some background noise on the news. No, it's the main event. It's the catalyst that brings the whole house of cards down. And you can literally see this ticking clock laid out. It starts in late 2007. Jen gets the job and he's full of hope. Fast forward to early 2008 and he's listening to Clark on the phone, basically saying they're heading for a cliff. And then September 2008 hits. The unthinkable happens. Lehman Brothers goes bankrupt.
What's so brilliant about the book is that it takes you right inside Clark's head. He's not just some greedy Wall Street villain. He actually feels the weight of all that public anger. He feels responsible. Not because he broke the law, but because he knew he was a part of the system that was causing all this pain.
And this is the perfect example of how a huge, historical event isn't just a headline, it has real, personal, devastating consequences. For Jende, his job is gone just like that. His income vanishes. For the Edwardses, their fortune, the entire life they've built, is shattered in that one moment. Both of their dreams, the one being built and the one already achieved, just implode.
So, after the dust settles from this massive explosion, both families are left trying to pick up the pieces from the wreckage, and it forces them to ask some really hard questions about the dreams they were chasing in the first place.
And just look at how this hits both of them. It's devastating in different ways, but equally profound. The Jungas are facing total financial ruin. Nanny has to drop out of her pharmacy program. Jindy's asylum case is suddenly on shaky ground, and they could be deported. Meanwhile, the Edwardses have lost their money, sure, but their marriage also completely falls apart, and they're left with this deep, existential, what was it all for kind of crisis.
And Clark has this one moment. It's just this gut punch of a realization. He looks at his life and thinks, this is it. This is the exact life I worked my whole life for. But it feels empty. And to make it worse, his own son wants nothing to do with it. He's off in India looking for something more meaningful. The dream he caught, it turned out to be hollow. And at the same time, Gendai is having his own crisis of faith. After all the sacrifices, all the struggles, all the little indignities he's had to put up with, he starts to wonder, was it all worth it? Was chasing this fleeting fortune worth leaving his entire world behind?
From here, things get truly tragic. For the Edwards family, all the stress and the emptiness pushes Cindy deeper into substance abuse, and it ends with her accidental death. And for the Jangas, the absolute collapse of their American dream brings them to a final, heartbreaking decision.
And all of this really brings us to the biggest question in the entire book. When the dream you've poured your soul into just disappears, what's left? What does home even mean anymore?
You see, for the Jangas, this isn't just some philosophical debate. It's real. America was supposed to be the land of opportunity, but for them, it's become a place of constant struggle and fear. So they have to make a choice. Is home the dream they were chasing, or is it the actual place, the life they left behind?
And what they decide to do is pretty radical. They choose to go back. They take the severance money Clark gave them, and they decide to return to Limbe. And the book presents this not as them giving up, but as them taking control, as them redefining what success actually means, on their own terms.
The novel ends on this incredibly powerful, kind of haunting note. As their plane is landing, their little boy, Leomi, looks out and asks one word, home? And that one question just says it all. It captures the whole complicated, bittersweet journey. So what is home? Is it America? Is it Cameroon? Or maybe home is a dream that you can never quite reach, only chase after.